This isn't a movie.
Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion.
This is a commercial.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Bet you didn't see that coming. Welcome to Behind the Narrative. In 1983, Apple Computers gave legendary filmmaker Ridley Scott $900,000 to direct a high-concept advertisement for the Super Bowl. By the time the project was completed, Scott, fresh off completing Blade Runner, handed Apple a gloomy short film that didn't show a single glimpse of the key product, the Macintosh computer. But after it aired, commercials were never the same. All right, a little backstory. Ridley Scott is a 4-time Oscar nominee and has directed blockbusters like Alien, Blade Runner, Thelma and Louise, Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, and The Martian.
Fuck you, Mars.
Known for his intricate visuals, dense environments, and female protagonists, Scott has never shied away from stories that are less than joyous. While all of this is on par with a project like 1984, at the time, Scott had only made 3 feature films, with Alien being the sole hit. It was actually Scott's career before movies that got him the job: advertising. Prior to filmmaking, Scott's work consisted of commercials, approximately 2,000 of them, or so he's claimed many, many times.
1,000, maybe 1,500 commercials at this point in my career.
2,500 commercials.
The rumor has it I did 2,500 commercials before I did a film. I think that was way an exaggeration. I probably did about 1,900.
Needless to say, the art of commercials wasn't alien to Scott. Apple knew they needed a pro to help launch their newest flagship product. They intended to revolutionize the market, but it didn't go exactly as planned. While Steve Jobs loved the ad, the executives at Apple didn't.
Drag to the sidewalk and be until you
Blood!
In 1984, commercials were all similar. They were corny infomercials. An actor would hold a fancy product and tell you how great your life would be if you bought it.
Nobody does it better than her.
Nobody does it better.
The Time Zero One Step and Time Zero Supercolor film are made for each other. That's why they both come in Polaroid's new Made for Each Other pack.
That's about it. Apple's main rival at the time, IBM, was in the middle of a lucrative ad campaign exactly like this. The ads featured a Charlie Chaplin look-alike bouncing around the set while the narrator described the sheer brilliance of IBM's newest personal computer. This is what all commercials were like in the 1980s. They didn't tell stories. Ridley Scott wasn't interested in any of that. He made commercials because he wanted to tell highly visual stories, the kind that also happened to make products look very pretty on camera.
So I've always come into commercial advertising and looked at each commercial as a film.
But here, Scott didn't have a product to show. He had an idea to sell. So he made a minute-long dystopian nightmare that presented Apple as the rebellious, individualist answer to an inevitably fascist future. A future that Scott had described twice before in Alien and Blade Runner. Both films featured immensely powerful corporations that treated the human life as a pawn for business.
Commerce is our goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
It's a damn company. What about our lives, you son of a bitch?
And the idea Scott was selling? The Mac was going to save you from that future. Since none of these elements involved making computers look pretty, the Apple executives didn't care how deep it was. I mean, why sell the idea of buying the Mac using emotion instead of fact? And only considering this perspective, they missed the bigger picture. The computer, represented by the heroine, is seen saving the masses from Big Brother. At the time, IBM was the marketplace leader, and in a sense, were the current computer overlords. Since the commercial's debut, it's been widely accepted that the ultimate symbol of oppression in this commercial was meant to represent IBM. And our heroine comes in to literally smash them in the face. Not the most subtle issue. From that point on, Super Bowl commercials weren't just promotions, they were full-blown events. Million-dollar ads, successful or not, flood the television market every hour of every day. Ads often contain well-known celebrities and are directed by auteurs comparable to Ridley Scott himself, be it McConaughey driving Lincolns.
Lincoln since long before anybody paid me to drive one.
Cindy Crawford drinking a Pepsi, or Clint Eastwood telling Americans that it's halftime?
It's halftime, America.
The advertising world has not forgotten 1984. While it may have taken a while for the Macintosh to become a sleeper hit, it didn't take nearly as long for the ad to put Apple on the map. Apple has since become one of the most influential companies in the world, for better or for worse. As for the ad itself, 1984 has been referenced everywhere, from video game companies to Futurama.
Hey, we were watching that!
Perhaps the most incredible thing to come from 1984 wasn't something it created, but something it perfected. The idea that people might like a story enough to buy themselves a part of it. This has been Behind the Narrative. I'm your host, Anthony Grybinas with 22 West Media. Thanks for watching.